Were you, and then when the intentional
Yeah, I
ground-
mean it's a play that looks good when you put it in, but it wasn't very good that moment.
Can you talk a little about third down? Kind of, you guys struggled offensively.
Yeah, first half didn't get any third down conversion. Second half did a lot better. I think we were 0 for 4 in the first half, and where we finished 5 for 12. So that'd be 5 for 8, and then one of them we went on fourth down. So it's almost like going 6 for 8 on those drives. So did a lot better in the second half. Didn't do much for anything in the first half, and I think their third downs in the second half. I don't know if they converted one in the second half. That's one thing we talked about at halftime. They're gonna do a better job on third down. And that was probably what got us back in it.
Did you think y'all stopped them right there at the end?
It's so hard to tell. Really tough.
Did the kids think that?
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody out there. I mean, no one really had a good vantage point. Even where I was standing, it was just such a big scrum in there. It was really hard to tell. I think a lot of it had to do with, where the ball was on his body. Was it on his chest? Was it down by his belly? The button? I don't know, by his waist. I mean, I just couldn't tell where the ball was. And even at the end, if you had a credit card, we might could have slipped one in there.
Mark, is there any way to take the guesswork out of a situation like that?
Guesswork out of what now?
Spotting the ball, in that
not unless you have some type of a gadget on the ball that could maybe put a GPS system on it.
I mean, is that hard to take, knowing what's at stake in all of these games that comes down to?
Yeah, but you know what? We still have got a wonderful opportunity to win a lot of games and get right back to Atlanta. And so we know there's a lot of football to be played. But it's one thing about our league. It's such a great league that if we can get back on track, we can get back where we want to go.
What did y'all do during the delays? Obviously, both teams had to experience that.
Right. Well, we kept in the beginning. We knew we were going to have 20 minutes to warm up, so we were just trying to get that plan, what that would look like, and then we actually started on that path, and then we had to come back in, and then all of a sudden it became 10-minute warm-ups as far as what was going to happen a little bit later on, and a couple times we were in the locker room beginning to stretch in the locker room, and then I was getting ready to give kind of a pregame talk before we hit the field. We did 2 of those, and I thought my second one was better than the first one. So, but you're just trying to be ready when the time comes, and then when they delayed it another 30 minutes or whatever it was, then you had to sit tight, usually 10 to 15 minutes before you started all over again. So about 3 times we started it, and the 3rd time we got it going.
South Carolina's won 4 of the last 5 in this series. How do you feel about the way that's going? I mean, obviously you would prefer to be different than that.
Wish we won. Wish we won.
They didn't exactly stop Gurley. They kind of slowed him down in the second half. Did they do something different in the second half?
They did. They just played good ball. They did a couple things. They did a couple pressures where they would rush their Sam and Will linebacker maybe a little bit more, kind of squeeze the gaps, or just line up in what we call a double eagle a couple times where we thought they were kind of a bear look, that Chicago bear look. I'm not sure if they lined up in it, but they kind of pinched to it from a couple times, a little bit different. But and unfortunately that long run he had got called back. That have put him around 200 yards, but didn't work out that way.
Coach, obviously you guys are disappointed, but I mean, it seemed like talking with the guys, I mean, not too many heads hanging too low with this. I mean, is that the fact that, especially 2012, they've been through this before, they know that it's still possible?
Well, I mean, you can't just go in the tank and quit. I mean, what did South Carolina do when they got beat? They got better. They beat East Carolina. We all realize East Carolina's probably a pretty good team. What they did with Virginia Tech, they beat a good team, and then they beat us, and I think we're a pretty good team too. So they didn't get down to the point where they couldn't fight back, and that's what we got to do. We got to fight back.